I would like to discuss the letter received from Lancashire Care NHS Foundation Trust, reference number 2157/15384/16619/19753 1987, I do apologise, 20969 21622, dated the 10th of February 2016. There are some encouraging remarks on this, but I feel that there are some things with a certain amount of confusion. Now, all my complaints were held on the time, and I feel this is a bit complacent because things could have been improved if it had been listened to for other people. Now, on the 23rd of December 2014, I did not supply that date in the deep type in paragraph header number 1. I did not supply that date. The head injuries I received were examined by the bowling unit's doctor on my first visit to the bowling unit and supplied to 3952 Andy Marston. He confirms that the injuries coincide with a hammer attack and having my head slammed to the floor with force. Dave Bennett was witnessed by 25 patients and staff, but we don't need to ask the staff. When I said, Dave, I feel I'm being bullied by the staff to lure me into a dormitory on Ward 18. I was carried out unconscious, witnessed by everybody, and it took me 12 hours to get to Blackpool. I don't know why, it's less than 45 miles. I was unconscious. The date is wrong. It was on my first visit to Ward 18 in 2011, not 2014. It was the day I arrived at the bowling unit for the first visit to the bowling unit. So from the records, Mr. Lawler has advised you were not in hospital at that time. One, he hasn't advised me, but I don't dispute I wasn't in hospital, but the date wasn't supplied by me. It's wrong. Now, it is true that I feel I had a lack of support when a close friend told me she'd been raped in tears. I was only questioned about my anger. I was given no emotional support. Now, I have not supplied this other date, 9th of January 2015. Now, it also says this caused chest pains, the assault. I was complaining about chest pains, that's why I was assaulted. Christian, a patient who I believe moved to Yorkshire, was stood with arms abreast, shouting, come on then, while I was agonisingly slumped over the chair arm. Sarah Richardson told me it had been fully investigated. I've seen the report. The report doesn't say the medication was administered twice in 5 minutes by Belinda Lee, and that can't be magic. It must be on record. Paragraph 4. I did advise that I was unhappy with response I received from the letter composed by my MP Secretary Sandra Byrne and Lisa Holt, who came up from Newcastle from the Care Quality Commission for a 3-hour meeting in my MP's office. She said it had been fully investigated because Paul Hayworth can't remember hitting me over the head with a pool cue. It may not have been her that replied, but 25 patients can, and she had it within her power to check. These patients, I've got the phone numbers, some of her, they still remember it. It's not been fully investigated. Now, this, paragraph 5, this relates to the chest pains on the 9th of March 2015, which is also, in paragraph 3, the 9th of January 2015. These were both on the same day. I don't know what the day was. Belinda Lee was suspended by Andrew Wilson from the bowling unit for that action, and Tracy replaced her, and I had a wonderful one-to-one. Tracy I chose as my name nurse during my visit to Orwell, where I was sent with lies to the spinney. That Tracy. And Wendy took over from a break, and I had a wonderful one-to-one with both of them. Now, these both happened on the same day. I was attacked for complaining about chest pains. In the report it said I refused the medication. I didn't get a chance to refuse it. I was forced the injection. And my foot still needs the operation for the damage that Darren Woods did when he apologised twice before hurting my foot twice, then hurt it. Now, in the tribunal in February, I believe, 2015, Dr. Harrod told 7 lies. He said I hadn't had an operation arranged, I hadn't been to a pre-op, I hadn't had an x-ray, I went to Blackburn for the x-ray, I had a pre-op, and there is still on my mirror the date of the operation arranged. He also said I flatly refused olanzapine. I believe that's an inappropriate drug, but olanzapine isn't on my records. I wasn't offered it. Now, on the 6th of March, it's my MP that wants me treated by Yorkshire for cruelty and bullying reasons. And I dispute that I was unwell. I've got a very wicked sense of humour, and I believe the interpretation of me being unwell was caused by bigotism and narrow-mindedness of the people saying I was unwell. And I still can't find the evidence of me being unwell, despite my MP writing 7 months ago to get the evidence. Mossview documented there is no evidence. On the 1st of April 2016, the doctor at Ormskirk says God knows why I'm on the antipsychotics. I was originally sexually assaulted by Dr. Maiden, who got sent to prison, and I successfully sued him through Jonathan Bridge at Farley's Solicitors on Manchester Road in Burnley. That diagnosis, he had to give me a deluded diagnosis to cover himself. He did, and Lancashire Care have been too gormless to listen. And I think through special dispensation of bullying and cruelty, I should have special dispensation to be treated by somebody I trust. And on the 16th of March 2015, that paragraph 7, that is a misunderstanding that you've got from what I said. You do not understand the motive for me smashing my foot. Not that it's not that it wasn't documented that I did it on purpose. I smashed my foot through disgust at inhuman treatment by Graham. And I feel I need counselling for the inhumanity shown by Lancashire Care. Although it says the injury to my foot was taken seriously by the multidisciplinary team, there's nothing been done about it. And paragraph 8, I wasn't given a care plan for 3 months. Rachel Brown ran in the office giggling every time I asked her for one. I didn't get one till my daughter rang the ward up and asked him for it. Dylan just wondered, looked at me with his mouth open every time I asked him for one. When he produced one, it said, has this been rejected by the patient? He said yes on the space and had never seen it. He's lied. My daughter got me that care plan and it was unacceptable when I got it. 3 months late. And about the staff grinning at me in seclusion, I had my knees up to my chin. Ryan Whitehead and Darren Taylor both respectively laughed at me through the window in seclusion, where incidentally I was sent 4 times by Alan Jones for being attacked and not retaliating. The Lady Oriental doctor on Orwell ward, after an ECG by Angela, who moves around from hospital to hospital, asked me if I had a heart attack. I felt in fear of my life. And I was in agony. And on the 8th of April 2015, in paragraph 10, it wasn't that date, I haven't supplied it. The date was Good Friday 2011. It wasn't checked by Tom from the high intensity team, Dr. Yarwood and another doctor, that my granddaughter and a 10-year-old disabled mate, and my granddaughter is disabled, had nowhere to go till 3:45 on Easter Saturday morning. Dr. Yarwood kicked him out when she sectioned me, and she came in trembling. And the 2 police accompanying were overheard by 20 neighbours to say, what the hell are they doing? He's the calmest person on the street. I didn't see anything wrong. When I got to Ridgely, I was ridiculed by the doctor in front of 17 patients for rampaging up and down on the street, which 22 people, including 2 police, saw I didn't do. And about this complaint at Moss U, I had no complaints about Moss U. I've written to D. Roach, head of Teeny Moore, Moss U's Karen Vaughan. Moss U treated me wonderfully. I spent an hour and a quarter praising Moss U's staff with D. Roach when she came to visit. And she was asking to meet all the people that I was praising, and some of them were on night shift. And when I left, I was dictating and writing concurrently praise letters about all the staff. Somebody sent this letter of complaint in maliciously. It wasn't me. And there's no apology I need from Moss U. They were brilliant. And I have written and clarified this, that I have no complaints about Moss U. I was unwell, as interpreted, because of disgust at the inhumanity from the people at Lancashire Care. I was disgusted, I wasn't unwell. Most few documented them. There is no evidence of my diagnosis, which Dr. Maiden, the pervert, gave me. And on the 1st of April, the consultant at Ormskirk said God knows why I'm on the antipsychotics. And Mr. Lawler has established that 7 care plans were completed. I wasn't shown any of them. I declined to accept it because it was unacceptable and too shallow. And I couldn't change my name nurse to one with intelligence. There is evidence of being given the wrong dose of aripiprazole. I exposed Chris McEwen when I questioned him in front of the whole ward, patients and staff alike, about the 10 milligrams of aripiprazole I've been given. Alan Jones then showed me for that day one time for 20 milligrams. I didn't have that 20 milligrams. I exposed it in front of the whole ward. The prescription for 10 milligrams had gone missing, and 3 pharmacists confirmed that the titration was going on with all the doses mixed up. I got an offer of an apology from Dr. Saney in front of the 2 junior doctors and Helen Wolfe. I didn't accept it because I didn't know who made the decision. This is deliberate psychiatric abuse, because she admitted in front of the whole ward she couldn't assess me. She tried to make me ill. And paragraph 15, the issue isn't that we were both unwell, me and the other patient. The issue is, I was trying to tell him for 4 days that this patient was troublesome, and he attacked Willie, who I later met on Calder Ward and Darwin Ward in Blackburn. He did a runner from the police, and Willie had a crime number for this guy attacking him. I was telling them for 4 days. They shut the door and told me to shut up, so I had to shout louder because they shut the door. They were treating pieces of plastic, namely computers and telephones. The staff had no people contact, unlike Ormskirk. They stayed in the office. They served no function at all for patients. I must praise Greg, James and Stacey though, and Tracy. And about it saying I was mentally unwell, I'd say that there was the bigotism and narrow-mindedness of the people saying that. I felt well. Most few documented there was no evidence of my diagnosis, and there never has been. Lancashire carer sticking with a pervert of a doctor who got sent to prison. I've sued him. It's dishonourable. Now the issue, it's not a complaint about Lancashire Care, about my phone being used 4 times. It's a complaint about the staff not listening, and listening to this Sean becoming troublesome. I've tolerated a lot as on video, and Emma Worthington said everything on the videos that she watched. She's a violence reduction and prevention officer, has informed me, advocate, via email, that everything was self-defence. Even on my recent visit to Keats, where incidentally my MP called the police on the staff when I had my phone home to her. The headphones, again, paragraph 16, The complaint is that the staff weren't listening. They locked themselves in the room, in the office, treating keyboards and telephones. No people contact. They weren't aware of the social situation on the ward. I could have been protected, and so could Sean. I had unavoidably to break his nose. Helen Wolf walked away when I said, at what point do I defend myself? 4 days before this happened. And the dates, they're all irrelevant because I haven't supplied any. I have not supplied one date, except Good Friday 2011. Paragraph 17. Psyche in Greek means soul as well as mind. The combination of the two is spirituality and intellect as far as I can gather. Neither are encouraged by Lancashire Care. They both abused and neglected, which means not meeting needs. Paragraph 16. My presentation was caused by disgust at a doctor and staff I had no confidence in, employed by a cruel care system. And I use my music on my laptop to pray. It's not encouraging my spirituality. And I have made the advance statement, but they were too slow to implement it on my recent visit to Churchill. Paragraph 22. It was deliberate. This woman was part of a team that kept me awake for 8 days in seclusion when I nutted Alan Jones in self-defence, when 4 people were hurting me back, which suffered from spondylosis. He had a clenched fist, he was going to punch me in the stomach. There were 5 people, they took me off camera. They're on camera, taking me off camera. Why were the 5 in seclusion with me? I can defend myself. And £60 is an excuse to offer me when the staff have stolen more than £2,000 of my earnings. I worked hard for that. Well, if it is policy in paragraph 24 that some of the water environment have policies, it's not suitable for me, so it's not meeting my needs, so that's neglect. I have never, ever, answering paragraph 26, been explained the reasons of any sectioning. And I've had no quality time with doctors except Dr. Kurt at Mossview, and there are no complaints, and there are no complaints about Ormskirk. They both say there's no psychosis. So me being deemed as unwell must be by bigots and narrow-minded people and bullies. And I wasn't allowed human emotions. That's what was oppressed. That is what they deem as being unwell. Bigotism and cruelty. I didn't feel intimidated, but I was witness to be bullied by Rachel Brown, Dylan Hindle, Giorgio Cacanatu, and it's Alan Jones, not Jones Brown. Some of the staff were very dissatisfied with the behaviour. Rachel Brown went in the office giggling every time I said something to her. She abused me. But I do thank you for the line. You feel very passionate about service improvements. Because from what I've seen, all I've seen is smugness and complacency. So that's an encouraging line. The migraine was inflicted on purpose, paragraph 22. And she didn't have to come multiple times in 5 minutes, and she kept me awake 8 days in the bowl and seclusion as part of a team torturing me, and they neither brought me or treated me. But if you look up the synonyms of evil, not in descriptions and concepts, look up the synonyms, because that's what I've been treated with. And the payment of £60 is not satisfactory. I worked hard. I worked 28 years at Argus before the harassment, about me complaining about somebody laughing about my stepdaughter hanging herself on the Burnley crisis line. I'd never been sectioned before that. 3 days before I was due to get an explanation on Easter Monday 2011 off the manager of the crisis line, I was mysteriously sectioned, and the 2 police were overheard to say what I've already said. Nobody understood why I was sectioned. Nobody knew. None of the patients could recognise any illness with me. It's concerted. The settlement that Chris Bivy investigated gave me a cheque for £150, which my son-in-law let himself in, sneakily posted to me while I was sectioned, and my son-in-law inadvertently cashed it in my bank account when the correct price should have been about £1,800. It's dishonourable. And the oppression is often caused by the staff. And I do appreciate the offer of a meeting with the experts by experience lead, because Lancashire Care have a lot to learn about human beings, because I've been the subject of inhuman treatment since I met Dr. Maiden from Lancashire Care. Thank you, I hope you enjoyed the music. 3 days of peace and music. It's a better environment at Woodstock than it is on the wards. 3 days of peace and music. Bye-bye.